One Reddit post got so disturbing that the original thread was locked, the user deleted their account, and to this day, nobody has an explanation. That's where we're starting, and it only gets stranger from there. Reddit has become one of the most powerful crowdsourced investigation tools on the planet. Millions of people, many of them forensic professionals, retired detectives, linguists, and cryptographers, all staring at the same unsolved case. And yet some of these mysteries have been sitting wide open for years. No answers, no closure, just a thread with 10,000 replies and a collective shrug. We ranked these based on how deeply unsettling the unknown actually is. Not just weird, but the kind of weird that makes you reconsider what you thought you knew about people. And one of the cases near the top of this list involves a disappearance where investigators found evidence that the person may have still been communicating after they were supposed to be dead. We'll get to that. Starting at the lower end of the ranking, still deeply unsettling, just not at the peak level yet, we have the Grateful Doe case. A young man was killed in a car accident in 1995. No ID. For 20 years, Reddit's Our Grateful Doe community worked this case with obsessive detail, cataloging physical features, clothing, the concert ticket stub found in his pocket. The community gave him a name, Grateful Doe, because that ticket was for a Grateful Dead show. Here's the part that sticks. The identification only happened in 2015, when a family member saw a Reddit post and recognized the description. 20 years. A family not knowing, a community that refused to stop asking. But that case got solved, which drops it on our ranking. The ones higher up, still open. Next, the username Nicholas1605 and the post that appeared on r/letsnotmeet in 2018. A user began sharing what they described as real-time updates about someone following them across 3 states. The writing style was clinical, too calm, not the tone of someone scared, more like someone reporting data. The final post said they were safe, staying with a friend, and would update soon. That was the last post. The account went dark. Redditors tried to trace the user, found fragments suggesting a real person, but no confirmation the person was ever actually found safe. The posts are still up. The thread is still open. No one knows if it was fiction, a cry for help, or something else entirely. Now we're getting into genuinely disturbing territory. The Grateful Doe case showed us what Reddit can do when it works. The next case shows what happens when it can't. The disappearance of Tiffany Valiante in 2015 generated hundreds of Reddit threads, and the core mystery has never been resolved. She was 18 years old, found on train tracks in New Jersey, with no witnesses, no clear motive, and details that simply do not line up with the official finding. Her shoes were found nearly a mile from her body, in a straight line.
Placed neatly. Investigators ruled it a suicide, but the Reddit community, including people with backgrounds in forensic pathology and accident reconstruction, filed detailed posts arguing the physical evidence contradicts that conclusion. The case is not under active investigation, the family still disputes the ruling, and nobody has produced a coherent alternative explanation either. That's the specific kind of disturbing this ranking is built around. Not a ghost story, not a conspiracy theory, just a case where the official answer doesn't fit the physical facts, and no other answer has filled the gap. Here's something wild to consider before we get to the top tier. Most unsolved mysteries stay cold because there's a lack of information, too little evidence. The cases at the top of this list are the opposite. They have more information than anyone can process, and it still doesn't add up. That's a different category of terrifying. The disappearance of Lisanne Froon and Kris Kremers, 2 Dutch students who vanished while hiking in Panama in 2014, became one of the most analyzed cases in Reddit history. What makes it different from most missing persons cases is the evidence trail. Their camera and phone were recovered months later. The phone showed repeated emergency calls made in the days after they disappeared. The camera showed 90 photos taken in the middle of the night, pitch black, seemingly random, with a few that show a hand and what some analysts believe is an injury. Their remains were found scattered across a wide area, mostly bones, with no definitive cause of death ever established. The official explanation is they got lost and died of exposure, but Reddit's forensic community found the timeline on those photos and calls inconsistent with that narrative. Someone, or both of them, was still operating that phone for days, making calls, taking photos in complete darkness. Why? That question has never been answered. Before we get to number 1, here's the open loop we set up at the beginning, the case where someone appeared to still be communicating after they were supposed to be dead. Brandon Swanson disappeared in Minnesota in 2008 after his car went into a ditch. He called his parents, told them where he was. They drove to find him. He wasn't there. They stayed on the phone with him as he walked. He said he could see lights, possibly a town. Then mid-sentence he said a single word, and the call dropped. His parents heard it. They've described it. That word was something close to an expletive, like he was startled. After that, silence. No trace of Brandon was ever found. But here's what put this at the top of Reddit's most analyzed cases. Cell tower records showed a ping from his phone approximately 4 hours after that final call. One ping, one location. Investigators went there. Nothing. No Brandon, no evidence. Just a single data point that either means the phone was still somewhere sending a signal or something stranger. The ping has never been explained. The case is still open. Brandon Swanson has never been found. What makes this the most disturbing on this list isn't just the open ending, it's the specificity. A word, a ping, a location. Pieces of an answer that refuse to form a complete picture, no matter how many people stare at them. Reddit has solved cases. It has also chased dead ends, and in at least one high-profile instance, wrongly accused an innocent man. But when the crowdsourced intelligence of millions of people applies itself to a case and still comes up empty, that silence is its own kind of answer. It means we're looking at something genuinely beyond the reach of pattern recognition and collective reasoning, and those cases don't close. If that unsettled you even a little, hit subscribe. More like this every week.